and welcome to yet another response podcast. Today, we are now covering The Last of Us, aka Brokeback Zombies. So,
Oh, gotcha.
so, Ninja, what was your favorite gay moment?
The part where he went to Home Depot.
Yeah, that was weirdly like.
I saw like
nostalgic.
yesterday. I was like, Bill goes to Home Depot. Well, it was just one of those Google pop-up articles. And it was just like, please tell me it's not actually gonna be like they're not just gonna straight up just go, yeah,
I
he's going to
mean,
Home Depot.
He did go to Home Depot,
I mean, that's a good place
Yeah.
to start. If like what
No,
you're
yeah,
beginning,
the
you
hardware
wanna
store
go.
is like if you're gonna go to like if you're gonna try to survive the apocalypse, yeah, first bet would be the
All
hardware
right,
store.
so let's get it out of the way. I can see why people think this episode is really good. The concept of two people finding each other in the post-apocalypse zombie thing and fucking living together, that as a show could be okay. It's not my cup of tea, but I get what it
okay,
would
but
do. But hey,
my issue.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, well,
like, the fact that this was all condensed into less than an hour, though, that's a bit of a
Yeah,
bizarre choice.
it's really really fucking rushed.
Like,
yeah,
let me
it's
say
the
this. Let me say this. If this concept of Bill and Frank was a whole show, I could see that maybe being pretty cool.
yeah. There's a
Like,
lot
I
of
get
cuts.
it's a lot of cuts, like, but the
Including like
sentiment,
the comedic to almost to a comedic level.
yeah, like fucking going from when they first uh, are together, and then going to you piece of shit. Like that's kind of funny, and I get that. But
Oh, I
like,
was thinking of the you what,
you
and
what?
then having
And
dinner
then
with Joel and Tess.
uh,
That was really
so like,
weird.
okay, but the problem is if we're gonna analyze that as a concept of the show, like it is very bizarre how pristine this fucking place is. Like I'm not gonna say it so far that like this was bad, but what I'm saying is this felt like it was a different fucking universe.
It
Yeah,
felt like a very different show. Like
Like
it just
yeah,
felt
and
like
there's
another show bleeding over into the Joel and
yeah, but like like I feel like they were barely a
they.
fucking factor in
So
the show.
here's the
Like
weirdest
that's the
thing.
weird thing.
Here's the weirdest part. So Joel brings up like, yeah, you're gonna like that'll keep some stray infected, but there will be raiders and they'll be trying to sneak up quietly, and we see that once.
well, but
Also,
that's kind of the implication is that once was too much. Once was more than Bill could handle on his own. I get where you're coming from in that, like it would make more sense if he was sort of slowly whittled down over time.
I was more
But
bringing
the
up about
implication is that he got basically swarmed by a group of raiders.
right. I'm more just bringing up like
and didn't
logistically
and
because we're
didn't decide to
because
take cover or anything.
Cause yeah, and he's also like he's standing in the middle of the street with a fucking sniper rifle. No,
Standing in the middle of the street,
it's
not from like a post somewhere in
it's
one of the many buildings that I'm sure he's very familiar with.
I
It's a
think
very
Well,
fucking odd
it's
the
weird.
decision to make.
implication is that he's not like combat trained.
Okay,
He's a.
but like there are common sense things here.
I
Like you don't
agree.
stand in the
I do
middle of
agree.
fucking firefight.
The
I
thing I'm
agree.
trying to
I'm
bring
doing the
up
best I
is
can to try to be fair to
I
this show.
I know, and I'm trying to be too, but like there are so many
It's
weird
fucking
decisions.
hard.
It's
I
so
just think it's
weird.
weird that after we cut from this, uh, just no, not even a perception of like not future attacks, but like
Well, okay,
it's
before we get too far into this, we should definitely. I know it's meta and I know it's adaptation and all that, but we should talk about how this plays out in the game and how it is
Well,
vastly
yeah.
different.
So in the game, when you're approaching Bill's town, I guess is what it's. I think that's what they actually reference it in the actual game. It's kind of terrible and shitty looking, but there are traps literally everywhere, and to the point where like mechanically they actually help you.
Like you get into a fight with a bunch of clickers or a bunch of infected at one point, and like they run through traps. So like half the mob you were gonna fight gets wiped out
Oh
instantly.
yeah, it's like a fucking maze almost
Mhm.
of like
Yeah,
deaths
it's
and
it's really cool. Like it's and like this thing and like in that like in and even Joel is unfamiliar with all of the insane bullshit that
Eh,
Bill has set up to the
Hence
point
why
where
he's
there's a sequence where you get like what's that trap called? Ninja, do you know what that is? When you get
what?
like when a trap grabs your leg and you're hung upside down. Does that
A
a name?
snare.
It's a snare. Okay, so Bill or not Bill. Joel gets
Joel.
grabbed by a snare and like he's forced to fight off a bunch of affected, and he almost gets got. And then this fucking husky man shows up and starts manhandling all these fucking zombies. It's really cool and establishes really quick that Bill is very competent. Joel is unfamiliar with like how like crazy he is because they don't really interact with each other. Because how the fuck would you? But like there's
Wasn't
a
it
lot.
implied that that was the first time Joel and Bill had met, or it had been like
No,
many, many
No,
years?
they've
they
met.
met.
It's been
It's been a
quite a
couple.
bit.
It's been a couple of years, but they are familiar with each other. But like they're not intimately familiar with each other like they seem to be here. In fact, like, and I guess technically they force that in at the very fucking end to like avoid this criticism. But like they don't even like each other. They're just like coworkers almost,
Yeah, it's like a what do they call it? A relationship of necessity or whatever, you know?
kind of. But yeah, but in the game, like I said, it's such a weird thing to be like, it's ooh in the game. In the game, Bill is shown to be completely self-sufficient and like very competent as a like in a survivor. What we get here is yeah, he's really resourceful. Yeah, he's pretty competent, especially the way he deals with Frank in the first encounter. Like there's a lot of like little subtle things like the second he like sees that like there's one guy who's like alive and talking, he immediately starts scanning the tree line to make sure that like, there's nobody coming to get him. Like there's a lot of really subtle things in that opening bit that are really well done. But what we get for the rest of it is like a rom-com. And I don't even want to call it a rom-com. It's not that funny. It's
It's literally like a
it's
rom drom. It's a
it's
romantic
literally yeah, it's a
drama.
romantic fucking show. And once again, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But like in the middle of The Last of Us, it feels really jarring.
Well, I liked it better in the game because like you get there, Bill is alive, and you do a lot of interacting with Bill, and the interactions between Bill and Joel serve the narrative purpose of kind of giving Ellie a little bit more insight, and you the player obviously, as to like how things work, how things function, what it takes to survive in this world.
And I want to
So
point out that once again that like Bill in that like in those sequences, he's very powerful as an NPC. Like he can melee clickers like down, which if you don't know, I don't know how fuck you wouldn't, but in the game, clickers are one shot. They touch you, it's game over. You die. You don't doesn't matter how much health you have. But Bill can literally kill them off of you and like save you multiple points. So he, like mechanically, you see he's very efficient at what he does.
yeah, and he also kind of helps you with navigating the town safely, giving you the mission to go to the school. Like all of that you get from Bill. So I think the idea of like we're going to have this whole story about Bill and Frank, but it's going to basically take place in the past, and by the time Joel arrives, they're basically already dead.
It
Narratively, it's not as interesting to me.
Yeah, like I like it's weird to say that it's like it's not bad. It's
No, it's just it's
strange.
a strange decision to make. Like
Yeah, they.
why make this level of drastic change?
I think so. It was they wanted to take the implied thing and just they wanted to make it the main focus. That's just it.
But
Well, okay,
it's
so
just
here's my thing. Like if you want to have this gay romance, like that's fine.
Yeah,
I
nothing
don't
wrong with that.
understand why people are having such a like, oh my god, like I cried. I had this, it's stunning and brave, and like they had such a powerful reaction to this when it's like, man, it all happened jarringly fast. Like there was no time to develop any feelings of any kind. Like
Problem is, it's like it's jarringly fast, but it's also really well done in a weird way.
well, it
Like,
is and it isn't because like
yeah, like it's
so much
it's
happens, but also nothing happens that's meaningful.
yeah, I know,
It's
but
like
like
all of it is
Well,
through the power of
and
off screen. All
and
of it.
again, a lot
all
of
of
it relies on a lot of weird editing. So, like that's why I really didn't like of all things. Like I was muted while we were watching this, of course.
No, you weren't.
When it made the cut of like you what, and then suddenly they're all having dinner, and it's like almost like we're in. It's almost like we're in a completely different fucking universe. Because I'm sorry. Like, you can't tell me that Joel is just now the first person to bring up that there will be raiders. Like, fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing because it's like
And then Tess is like
once
so
it, so
giddy
like
that she's
this
got somebody to talk to.
it's yeah fucking oh god, but it is like it's a weird thing that like they decided to make it look so like it's so pretty, like it's so beautiful and pristine, and like in the
I swear
game.
to God, I'm not trying to make a joke here. Do you think they were trying to lean into the whole like gay stereotype stuff? Because he talks about fixing up a couple of the stores. And
Yeah,
there's
but
one
like
That was a
specifically
little
talks
weird.
about like the furniture shop and like
the amount of fucking maintenance you'd have to do. Like
Dude,
that's what I'm trying to say. It's
but
like
that's what he was talking about. He's like, I want to
I
fix
know.
up the lawnmower. It's like I wanna mow
Well,
the
he wants to.
yards.
Well,
And
yeah, he wants to mow the yards, but it's like, yeah, you can't really do that like without like an exorbitant amount of fucking resources. Like
that's
Or
I
what
know
the
he's
whole
like,
argument was about.
yeah, like it was a whole argument, but it's like, no, I don't even think you have the resources to do this. Like, you know what I mean?
I was
Like,
going
I
to
don't
say
believe that you guys have that.
even time is a resource. Like even if Bill had just
Exactly.
been like, even if Bill had basically handed Frank a push mower, like we're talking like that manual you walk forward and those spinning blades. I forgot what like isn't that what the
Granted,
like
they have years to do this, but like there's also the years coming back on themselves. Like we just said, like there's time, there's like rust, there's shit falling apart. It's just it feels like I
There's a
said, it
reason the whole survivalist thing is a fucking lifestyle.
yeah, and
Like
like it just like I said, it feels like I'm not exaggerating. It feels like a different universe. Like it feels like Bill and Frank aren't in The Last of Us.
yeah, because if they were in The Last of Us, they would have been dead.
No, they wouldn't be dead, but like it wouldn't be that perfect. That's the problem. Like it's
yeah, and
so
how did he
perfect.
have like an endless amount of fucking supplies? Like I get the idea that like yeah, he was a prepper, he had all this, but he was like cooking fine fucking meal. Like these aren't MREs or like actual survivor prep type foods.
Well, he mentioned that one of it was like rabbit, so assuming he was hunting. That's what I got from that. That's when that fucking line of "Ooh, this fucking wine goes with the rabbit." Only a
Yeah.
real man would get that. Yeah, like it's like I can't like it's weird. Like I'm not gay, so I don't know the fucking struggles of a freaking cigarette. But like
Did it feel
it's
Despite
awkwardly
it
fast for them?
felt so
yes,
awkwardly fast.
yes,
You played
it
the
was.
song, let's make out. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, he did save his life. So it's like,
I
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's just,
So hold on.
I feel
So
wrong, though.
as
Well, but
someone
I
who
think it would be
does
weird even if it was like a heterosexual, like if it was a dude and a chick. You know what I mean? Like it would
it'd be
still be
weird.
really quick. Like
So
Yes, like, very much
also
so.
even though I swing both ways, yeah, that was very uncomfortable.
I I don't know. It just between condensing this whole storyline into like you said, less than an hour, and then on top of that, you have the time jumps, which are fucking massive.
Yeah,
by
that's
the way.
we're not going by months, we're going by years.
And it's
One of them
weird
was like
because,
a decade.
and it's really, yeah, because they're fucking old and like actually crippled at that point. It's like I said, Bill was in the game very competent, very cool, very like well, I won't say cool, but like he was very useful as a like an asset.
Well, yeah, he was
The,
very
the
like logical. He took a lot of like
Mhm.
focus on what he
but
did.
that's what I'm trying to say is like he wasn't a fucking senior citizen. This is what the weird like choice for it, because I
Yeah,
thought
they
Nick Offerman was a really great choice until I saw him as literally a 90-year-old man. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
that
this
was
is
weird. We
weird.
essentially so this almost has nothing to do with Bill's original story.
Well, and in the
Nothing.
games, didn't Frank like get
He hung
infected and
himself.
hang himself?
He
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
bit.
he
He
hung
was
himself.
bit in multiple times, and so to stop himself from getting infected, he hung himself.
well, I remember Bill basically being like he blamed himself because they got into like a fight or something like
Yeah,
that.
they got into a fight, so they're living on opposite sides of the city. That was the whole thing, or the town, I should say. But
But
they were
Bill
living
wasn't
far.
directly responsible for it. That's the weird part.
Yeah,
The way that they changed it, Frank specifically asked Bill to take his life. He's like, if you love me, you'll fucking kill me.
yeah, that was also really cringy and
Which is
abusive sounding. Like, I was
yeah,
like, I want you to kill me and then hold
I
me and then love me. I was like, I was like, that isn't this kind of contract.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that's like,
really uncomfortable,
and
bud.
like, I would have been on board with the romantic thing, but then that last bit was like, oh, you're kind of an asshole.
Yeah,
Like,
like you're kind of a
you
dick,
sound like
dude.
you've been manipulating fucking Bill this entire time. Now I feel like oddly like really bad for Bill. And what the fuck?
Yeah.
I feel bad
and
for Bill from The Last of Us? He was
and
a fat asshole who almost killed Ellie.
I'm now even more uncomfortable. Like this is.
That's what I'm saying. It's so weird. It's so weird. And like I could get why people are tricked by it because they probably haven't been in fucking shitty relationships like this. But that clearly sounds like he's been manipulating for a while.
Yeah,
Like
it's really
it's
weird.
not like oh
Well,
man,
that's
like
not the kind of thing you say if you genuinely love your partner. Like that is some narcissist, manipulative, controlling type shit.
you're gonna put on this clothes, you're gonna take me over here, you're gonna do all this, we're gonna get
We're gonna
married,
get
and then
married, and
this,
then I'm gonna
and then
ask you to off me.
and then you're gonna put all this fucking heroin in my wine, and I'm gonna sip it, and then you're gonna pick up my almost dying body, and then I want you to hold me as I die. Haha, joke's on you, bitch.
Yeah, it's really, really
Mm,
fucking odd.
It's very strange, and it's funny because we were talking about like cyberpunk not too long ago and how like that's like a really sweet romantic story. This like
this I
It's
it's like the
how
opposite. It's so weird. It's like
this
the
show
exact opposite.
this show is gonna make. Why do I have like a feeling that this show is gonna make me uncomfortable in every way possible because we
I
had the
mean,
mushroom kiss in the last
we had the
episode,
mushroom kiss,
and
and to be
then
fair,
you bringing this shit up, and I'm suddenly at my
did you not get uncomfy when he actually fucking said it during the episode?
yeah, like
I
that's like classic manipulation bullshit right there.
As somebody who's been in a few shitty relationships, I would have expected that to like set off your
Yeah,
alarm.
and
I
like it's funny because like it's strange because that test thing from last episode. Remember how I was saying it's like it felt really shitty what she said in the game as compared to what she says in the show. I thought that was a really cool choice to change that and make Tess sound like a little more sympathetic. But then they put that on Frank, a character that literally had no fucking lines of dialogue in the actual game.
yeah. So yeah, it took a little
Mhm.
bit for the
Well, see, that's
alarm bells to start ringing.
yeah, but here's the thing, Wyatt. That's what that tells me. It's not on you. It's really well done on the show to emotionally manipulate you into thinking that this is a good thing. So, regardless of what you were feeling, you kind of bought into it because you thought Frank was like all there for Bill. But like, if anybody like thinks about it for a split second, they'd realize it's like, oh fuck, this is horrible. Sorry, like I have a like I don't yeah, I don't like that. It's bad. Uh but like I haven't even got a chance to talk about like the cool things I really like about the opening of the episode. Cuz there is a really stupid thing and a really good thing in pertaining to Joel and Ellie at the beginning, and I think there's a couple good things about Joel and Ellie at the end, which is very strange to say that our main characters are barely in this episode.
Yeah, it's very, very odd. Um,
Like, so the good thing I liked is the explanation of the actual spread of the infection. The idea of it like evolving into going into flour or sugar and then spreading to a very popular product in like a day. That's a really
Yeah, that
cool concept.
I
That's
actually
really cool.
I actually found out that it's like when they were saying in the radio that the radio or TV that everybody in a certain country was getting sick. Somebody pointed out in like one of those YouTube shorts that's actually like one of the main things of like flour processing.
Yeah, and like especially like cheaper like poorer countries like Indonesia, where like it would be cheap to make all this shit and then just fly it out. That's why if you ever look at the bottom of any fucking product you have in your house, it's like made in China, made in Indonesia, made in India. Like it's all these like things that like do that, and like it probably could have started in Indonesia, but like it was already way too fucking late to stop it.
Yeah, and then when yeah, and then the reason this was brought up is because it's like, oh yeah, Sarah saved Joel's life because she wanted to make pancakes.
And like, dude, the fucking reaction of him going, oh, like it didn't hit him until he was like, oh, pancake mix. Because if you remember from the first episode,
Yeah,
they were like, oh, come have some pancakes. And he's like, I don't want any fucking pancakes. I'm on a keto diet. Or what do you say? Weight Watchers? Fucking oh god, Weight Watchers.
oh no, on
Remember
that
Weight Watchers?
Epson or whatever
No, it was. I
the
think it was Weight Watchers. Ninja, do you
Atkin.
remember?
No, it was the Atkins diet.
Atkins? Was it Atkins?
Yes,
Yeah, it
he
was
specifically
Atkins 'cause
saying to
he
the
didn't
old
want a
man.
biscuit or cookie or whatever it was.
Yeah, and like he was shoving fucking like cookies and shit in that lady's mouth, and he's like, "No, I'm on the Atkins diet." Yeah, you're right. It's the Atkins diet. But yeah, that's a nice callback, and it's like, oh, like it's just something that like Joel never thought about because something worse happened that day that he wouldn't kind of overruled everything on that day. But it's like I said, it's like this weird, like it's really well done, like explanation, and it's totally like plausible. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times zombie outbreaks are like, how the fuck did this spread? And I feel like this was probably one of the best ways to do that. Like easily, probably one of the best like ways of distribution besides like Walking Dead. But The Walking Dead was just all water. So yeah, I really like
The Walking Dead was even stupider because then it was revealed
They
aliens.
just fuck. Oh god. Oh my god. Why did I praise that show? Anyway, back to The Last of Us. Also, another really cool thing. Well, it's not really cool. It's kind of horrible. But when they're looking at that pile of corpses, and you see that blanket, and then you see the mommy holding her baby, driving away with the blankie, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh boy, I hope they're going to a really happy place. It's like, oh, that was like, and the restraint is really should be really praised for not showing the actual killing because that's enough. Not a lot of things like are criticized for like showing way too much and like really indulging, but like the fact that they didn't show it is like good fucking choice, dog.
I kind of so while we were watching this and we see the first thing of Bill in his little bunker, we see somebody walking around. He's holding the shotgun. Come on, you leave, you New World Order jackboot.
New
fuck.
World jerk asses.
and I was sitting there and I was just sitting there. I was like, oh hi Ron, because
Yeah, he's literally Ron. He's gay Ron. But yeah, and like yeah, the fact that like as soon as everybody fucking got kicked the fuck out,
things
like,
were never the same once he left Pawnee. Let's face it.
Yeah, fair. Like his retirement plan didn't go really well. But yeah, like I like that it shows him like get straight to work and shit like that. It's like okay, yeah, it's showing him get everything set up.
Politically heavy-handed to me. Like I know they didn't show it, and I do agree that that was a good choice to make. The cut where it shows like the skeletons and then the people wearing the clothes was good enough. Like you got the gist.
Yeah.
But just the way that Joel's explaining it to Ellie about how like, oh, the government went around and rounded everybody up and
But like, does it feel like something that's implausible? Because that's the problem. I thought that was
not
actually
implausible,
as
but
a really
it's also not particularly logical either.
okay. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, so the government does shitty things all the time, but typically, even when they're doing something shitty, they're doing it for a reason to benefit somebody, usually themselves. Like they're serving their own self-interest, hence corruption. But that doesn't really feel like killing all these random people just to supposedly, it's like, oh well, living, dead people can't get infected. It's like, okay, we're a week into the outbreak at this point.
Yeah, you said it was the
feel like
20th. It said it was the
little-
23rd.
feels
Yeah.
like it's a little soon to be making those kind of calls. And I also don't feel like I could totally understand them like legit turning somebody away. Totally get that. Makes sense. But the idea that they're just like, oh, we're gonna kill people to stop the spread of the infection, like that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, so like I was like kind of like going against you that entire argument, and then you brought up it's like, yeah, it's only like a week later. It's like, oh yeah, that's a little quick to start fucking bringing out the axe. Because like if it was a little bit later, I could totally buy. It's like, no, we need like if there's like a town of like 3,000 people and we can't account for them, then like yeah, let's remove them from the board. As
Because
horrible as that sounds, that's a very logical choice.
yeah, because
But
supposedly, because it was on the 3rd, and then like what they say that on the 3rd, then after like only a few days later, it all broke down, like
Jamie,
it
pull
was
that
all
up.
gone.
Jamie, pull that up. See what the time frame is at. But like yeah, like okay, I guess I agree then because like the shots are really good, but yeah, the time frame is actually really poor. I actually completely agree.
Hold on.
I was
Pull it up
joking.
right
You don't
now.
have to, but we get the idea
like
is that it's really short
yeah,
time.
we get the idea. I mean, I just don't believe like if
I don't
it's funny, the
believe
people
even
that like
that.
to take shots at the government also believe that they're like way more efficient than they are.
I
You
still
actually can't
do.
get shit done in a week.
That's yeah. I think to be
I
fair,
kind of
yeah.
don't believe that it would have all fallen apart that fast.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the time frame. The time frame is a little strange. I feel like they should show less and less of it. But
This is why I keep thinking, like, why do they keep doing these flashbacks?
now here's the problem though, is that like as much as I can praise uh Joel's exposition of how it all went to shit, I immediately have to go back and make fun of that whole quickie stop scene. Because like, why aren't they checking the rooms?
Yeah, that's not
Like check
it's
the
not very
corners?
smart.
Like it's like, oh, but like zombies don't like have mushrooms. It's like, yeah, Joel, but you know people exist, right?
Joel, like if yeah, possibly on how much of the backstory we're keeping in the in between years, Joel was one of them.
Yeah, it's a very odd choice that he doesn't look for zombies, doesn't look for humans, doesn't look for corpses, because apparently that's also a fucking problem. And it's like I get, it's like, oh, the mushrooms take over all of the fucking building, but it's
It's
like, how do you
it's
know
really
that know
weird.
that it's on the backside of the building?
I'm surprised that that their whole thing was like, oh yeah, we should get off the road, and it was just to avoid the mass grave. When it's like, I'm sorry, how about the fact that if you travel the road, there's more likely you'll get fucking robbed.
I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of like, and this also goes to like Bill too with this episode. There's a lot of like not smart things that these characters are doing, and it's just like, why? You didn't have to do that. Like, or you could have like thought of that more than not at all. And probably the dumbest thing. So I'm curious if you guys could fight me back on this because I'll move if I get a good argument. But
Okay.
how the fuck did Joel forget where they put their supplies?
What do you mean
The
forget?
Like he is like lost in the fucking store. It's like, oh, you lost where you put your supplies. Shut up. It's like, and then yeah, he spends like literally almost an hour looking for his shit.
the only thing would
He's getting
be
like frustrated and like fucking like almost throwing a temper tantrum because he can't find his fucking supplies that he should know where the fuck it is.
if I were to steel man it, it's been some time, but that's a weak
Well,
argument.
and then
Yeah, like
obviously there's still, I'm assuming, best faith interpretation, this is fairly shortly after Tess died, so he's still kind of dealing that, which kind of
uh
made sense for that line where he's like, you don't bring up Tess ever, because like it actually felt better in this, I think, than it even did in the game.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
she
know, 'cause
just died in the game.
well, I don't know. Like, that's what I'm trying to say is like she didn't bring up Tess at all in like what the 3 days they've been walking. How long has it been since the last?
We don't know. That's the thing. Like, it
Because
doesn't say
like
how long
It's
they've been walking.
it's
I
this is
think
the
it's
this
I
is
think it's
kind of a
implied.
problem.
I think it's implied 2 days because remember when Bill meets Frank. God, I'm terrible with names. Jesus. When Bill meets Frank, Frank is saying that he needs to go to Boston.
Yeah, but that's in the past. That's not.
Yeah, but hang on. He says it's that way, and it's a 2-day walk. Or I don't remember exactly what he says, but he does point like where Boston is, which is where Ellie and Joel are coming from, and he does say that it's a certain amount of time. I think I'm exaggerating with 2 days. I think he actually says it's a 1-day walk, but
He says it's a 5-hour hike.
it's a 5-hour hike. Okay, so it's actually okay. So it really hasn't been that long then. Okay, my bad. Because the implication I got, it's been like a day or two since Tess died. But yeah, if it's a 5-hour walk, then
well, it's because in between episodes we keep kind of moving to different spaces because we were still well within the city when Tess died, and then this new episode starts. They're out like near a creek in the middle of the woods. So
yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's how it happens in the game too. Like Tess dies, you have that last exchange with Fedra, but then you get out of the building, and that's when the you don't bring up Tess ever. There's going to be some ground rules. Repeat what I just said. Everything you say goes, and like that's when you see Joel's kind of like pissed off at her, but like then it cuts, and then you're in the forest. And I really hate to keep bringing this up, but I'm going to because it's just what it is. The fucking acting in the game is far superior than it is in the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there's that moment where she's like, I like the forest. It's got bugs. I was like, oh, well, cut to the game. In the game, Ellie stops walking and goes, whoa. And Joel has to stop and turn around and go, what? She's like, I've never seen the forest before. Like, it's a lot like more of a holy shit kind of deal.
And again, more of the teachable kind of stuff. Like, the closest they did was when Joel's showing Ellie the seatbelt in the ending of the episode. But it's like with the game, he's been teaching the stuff quite a lot already.
Yeah.
The very beginnings of their relationship are happening.
And what was the deal with her and the runner in the fucking basement?
I have no idea, to be perfectly honest.
It was her first up close interaction with a infected that was basically restrained. Like he couldn't actively get her, so she kind of had time to like study it. But I don't know why she was like, she was kind of like cutting it and like.
Yeah, it felt like really sadistic, and like
I guess we'll need to see.
To Steelman that like she has a pretty solid reason to hate these fucking things.
Well, yeah, I mean, she definitely does.
Yeah, like her girlfriend was killed, she's infected, and the fucking world's a shithole because of them. So that's fair. Like I said, to Steelman it just felt like it felt like an oddly sadistic thing for Ellie to do, and like I said, game comparisons, like Ellie wasn't a complete
do you
bitch.
think they're hinting at the psychopath she's gonna become more into?
Oh my god.
I mean, it's possible.
Oh my god.
Because let's face it, Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2 is a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, so that's probably what that is then, because yeah, it's a really weird thing to show, and it's like that's probably why they put it in there. Yeah, man,
Right,
there's so much good.
Like, I hate how right you probably are on that. You know,
I don't want to be right because I just don't want them to touch Last of Us Part 2. Just like no, end at the okay, cut Last of Us, then that's it.
Yeah.
Oh no, so, they're doing it. I'm sure.
Please,
they've already been renewed for season 2, and they've already.
I know.
That season 2 is going to be completely about Last of Us 2. So.
Why are we so adamant to just go back to that?
Don't worry, we're gonna make Last of Us season 1 so bad you'll love season 2. Anyway,
you're gonna crave the golf club.
Like, yeah, it's like, oh god, please get me the fuck out of the show. So going to the thing that you said about the Raiders, like I'm not a big fan of Oakland, haha, Chick-80. But no, when Joel brings up the Raiders, and then like, so the way it's shown in the show is it's that fucking night, like, If Bill was any kind of smart, wouldn't he despise Joel and be really paranoid around him? Because it's almost like he planned that.
I think some time has passed because the whole list like, oh, Joel will take care of you, but
I
they're
guess
not good at showing the passage
they're
of
not
time.
good at showing the passage of time, and like I said, it is like this is what we have to work with from like the scene transitions. Because remember, what you said comes after the attack, but what we see in the show is Joel and Bill have dinner together. Joel warns him about raiders. They go to bed, and they wake up to being attacked by raiders. Like, it's a very odd thing to pace out poorly, but like if anybody in that framing would probably hate Joel. But I guess
Yeah,
we passed like years of him
I
sucking off
think the
Joel. So
implication is that there's a big time jump between those two cuts, but they don't actually
the
show.
but the problem is the implication comes after the attack. It was like what Wyatt was saying is that Bill was like, "Oh, call Joel, he'll protect you," and it's like that right there says it's like, "Oh, they've been doing this for a while, so he actually trusts Joel." But like what we get in the show with the horrible pacing is it feels like Joel set him up.
Yeah, it's very much like Joel set him up like a damn fiddle.
I really am trying to be super fair to the show. I really am because I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this anymore. But like I will
We
admit
can,
the strawberries thing was really sweet, pun intended. But like like the first time they tasted strawberries and like having like a massive emotional reaction because it's like
yeah,
something like
it's
that.
been
It's
years.
a really cute thing. I did like that. It is strange that like now they're deciding to get in shape 6 years into the apocalypse.
Yes, it was odd.
That's
The idea
odd.
that
I guess nobody
Bill
watched
wasn't
Zombie.
already in
Wait,
shape.
wait, wait. When did Zombieland come out? If it came out post
After
2003,
it came out, like, oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about like in the meta. No,
no,
like it came out post 2003.
yeah, because the fucking what's rule number one?
Cardio.
No, it's limber up. Oh no, that's rule number 4. Sorry, yeah, rule number 1 is cardio. You're totally right.
Don't be
And
a
then
fatty.
rule number 2 is don't take a number 2. But which I appreciate Ellie stuffing toilet paper in her bag. I'm like, that's a nice
I
touch of
actually appreciated the
what
finding tampons. I was like, oh yeah, that
yeah,
makes sense.
so those were tampons. For some reason, I was like, why is she grabbing contact lenses? Who gives a fuck? Like,
What?
that's what that looked like to me. I was like,
what?
because I didn't get a good look at it, so it like looked like contact. It looked like a box of like eye drops or contact lenses.
I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. I'm gonna send this.
Yeah, do that because it's kind of ironic because I'm blind, haha. But like, I still contact lenses.
I just like the idea that you're just shopping for some girl in the future. It's like I gotta find tampons, and you just get a box of contact lenses.
Box of contact lenses. Like, yeah, it's the same box. Don't worry about it. Yeah, like, I get the information. It's the fucking context clues were enough, but like when I first saw it, I was like, "What the fuck are context boxes doing here?" Like, fuck.
Literally says Tampax.
Does it? No, fucking shut up. You're lying. Why would you lie to me, Wyatt? I thought we were friends. Ninja, can you believe this gas? Listen, all right, look, okay, I'm fucking blind. What do you want? I'm blind.
Oh, if we needed any memes made of ourselves, if we need any, if we need any,
doesn't know what fucking Tampax are.
I love the idea. Yeah, like Max, could you go get me some tampons? You got it, babe. Gets contact lenses.
Hold on. But to be fair, out of the 3 of us, Max is the one that hasn't been married, so he probably hasn't had to take too many trips down that aisle.
Yeah, to be fair, I actually have only had to do it one time, and like I had a picture and a brand. I'm blind. I should change that to my fucking profile.
I think Rick said it earlier, but like, if this story had been stretched out over like an entire season, or even just been like the B plot of this whole season, like you could just occasionally cut to it and have us like kind of drip feed us over the course of the entire season. Like, you had time to flesh this out and do it, but to cram it all into one fucking episode with these massive time skips, just you're asking for a very large emotional payoff with very little investment. And I'm just like, I can't. I'm sorry. Like, it's not enough for me.
And unfortunately, it worked because like fucking this episode has gotten like so much praise over like how beautiful it's done. And
No,
like I said, I get why they got manipulated into thinking that way, but it's like,
I hear where you're coming from. I absolutely get it. You're right.
but
It's
it's
just,
like,
it's
but it's like,
frustrating.
man, it's like, dude, please just think about it for more than a second. It's not what you think.
On the surface, I feel like it hits all of those milestones that it needs to.
And we are weird
But
autistic people who like look at the
maybe, but
details and think about shit.
it doesn't have that much depth though. That's my issue. It's very shallow. It's very like, if you're already invested in just, I don't know, gay as like a topic, which is a weird concept for me, but like,
Well, here's the thing. Bill being gay was like not
Oh, yeah,
an important thing to his character, like at all.
We should actually bring
well,
that up.
you
It's like-
finding Frank's body is like literally the reveal of it.
Yeah. So hold on. Yeah, for those like who think like, oh, they made Bill gay.
Yeah,
He's
like,
always
let's,
been gay,
Yeah, I was
assholes.
gonna say, make sure to steal a minute. Bill has always been a cigarette, but like he but
It
it's
wasn't
really
his main
subtle.
personality trait.
It's really,
He
it's really
always
subtle.
he always refers to Frank as his partner.
Yeah, which
And-
partner could just be a partner. It doesn't have to be a life partner.
Exactly. It's like, okay, so he's your, survival. He's your guy that's helping you out here, and everything that you're shown, that checks out. That makes sense.
So,
But then it's like, all of a sudden he's just, we're gonna go into that and we're gonna make it like he's super gay and also somehow like a gay virgin in the apocalypse.
I think it's
mean-
really weird also that man, they should have just done the fucking Frank gets bit and he fucking hangs himself
because
then
like the the implication is that he's been gay for like decades, and he went into the fucking conspiracy life.
well
So,
it
like,
it took
they turned him into a gay cell, so that's weird.
So it took me a minute to realize, like, because Frank dying in the corner, I was just like, oh, are they suddenly making it AIDS? But they said MRI. It's like, oh, probably brain tumor or something.
Yeah, it's cancer or some shit. It actually could still be the gay virus, but like,
Why would
It's
why
like-
would you need an MRI machine for that?
Yeah,
Everybody's got AIDS.
hey, do-do-do-do-do.
AIDS is AIDS. AIDS.
I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor. Okay, I'm fuck. Wait, what's the one?
I thought you were about to go with a scientist.
I'm not
I
a
did
doctor.
make
Oh
a
wait,
bad
oh wait,
joke when he
oh
was
wait,
like-
no, you're just quoting Treasure Planet. I'm a doctor. Well, I am a doctor, but I'm not that kind of doctor.
No, I was quoting your fucking show, Star Trek.
Oh damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a insert thing here.
Yeah.
I thought when he was all like, "Who's gonna come by the door-to-door MRI salesman?" I was like, I thought of that thing from Fallout, Vault-Tec calling. It's like,
Let me stop you right there.
Well, I mean, like fucking. I was about to say, with the way their neighborhood looks, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that it's in the same fucking.
right. You
neighborhood
just
as
needed
that
like
Fallout.
some literal Fallout music playing.
They kept that shit pristine. Yeah, fucking
Dude,
what's it
it's
called in Fallout
such a-
3 when you go in the simulation?
Yeah, it's such a dude. It's such a weird thing. Like, it's like look at the gay community. They were able to keep their things completely perfect in the outbreak.
Super nice.
Beautiful. It's like legit. Like, oh damn, I would want to live
Yeah,
across the street.
he's
from you.
literally upset. Like, they're having a fight because he can't mow the yard and things.
I can't make it pretty. Okay.
Well,
That was
again, like,
That
why
was
not?
so weird. That is also a
weird.
manipulation thing. Now that I'm looking back on it, it's like, yeah. Why do you want to do that? Like, why would you want to make this look presentable to other people?
Oh my god, I was
Point
just
is we need to fucking stay camouflaged because that's how we survive.
so
Yeah, it's so odd.
So I was just curious. I wanted to see like what that was called. Because I wasn't sure if push mower was the right term, and I came across one you could buy at one of the local hardware chains. Guess how much it fucking is?
Well, I mean, money means nothing now.
Yeah, that ancient piano is worth nothing.
That thing, this apparently right now is worth almost $150.
Oh, well, I mean, get a fucking power motor, fucking people, or just pay somebody to pay a kid to do it for
Yeah,
$20.
pay a Mexican to do it for like $5. I got it.
Or a fucking kid, or a Mexican kid. You say, look,
Yeah,
double
Mexican
up.
dude. No,
Yeah, kid.
Raul will show up with like 12 kids. They've all got like weed eaters and blowers and shit. Do a whole
Your
fucking
lawn will
thing.
be pristine.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, they're in here in Wichita. They do good work. Come
Yeah,
on.
as I was saying, you fucking you pay them with some fucking Modelo's, and you have a fucking you'll
Oh
get
yeah,
fucking
they were good,
you
man.
get
He
tamales
literally
every
just
week.
roll up with like the truck and the little yard trailer, and they'd all hop out. Like he got the big rider, they got the little push stuff and the hand stuff, and they just go to town, be done in like 30 minutes or less.
Even in the apocalypse, it's kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, it'd be crazy.
they'd
They'd be like,
they'd
fuck
make a
with them
kill.
mushrooms. They'd have some hot sauce. They'd be like, nah, no fucking mushrooms.
And he's saying the fucking cure for fucking zombies is fucking hot sauce. And
Cayenne
like,
pepper,
oh
dude.
my god.
Well, they
just
did say
pan-
that it couldn't survive in certain heat, right? So you just cayenne pepper or something to like raise the temperature, and you
Well,
fuck
no,
it.
Put
they
some
were saying that
put
they-
some
no, they were
tahini
saying-
on a fucking clicker.
they were saying the heat would actually make it better to infect people, but yeah, no, I love the idea of just scroll down from where these fuckers are, and like Mexico's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's eating a fucking taco. A clicker rolls up. They dump some hot sauce, some tapatio
Dude, the
on that
cartel
shit.
probably has that shit on lockdown, man. I don't
They
know.
probably do. Like, let's be fair. Like, you know what? I want to see like quote unquote flashbacks, but I want to see like other cultures dealing with this shit. We cut to the fucking Japan, and it's like, or no, it's China. What was that fucking show? Or that movie you wanted me to see, Ninja?
Are you talking about Train to Busan?
No. It's the thing that we thought looked like Titanfall.
Oh, I forget what it's called.
Yeah, like, but it's like that's what they're doing in China.
Or something, yeah.
Something stupid like that, but yeah. I really liked the interaction between Joel and Ellie towards the end of the episode. It was pretty nice.
It was. I kind of think it was a bit weird that Joel didn't grab any of those guns for himself, because
see him not.
that's fair. But if it starts
and-
and he has no other guns other than
Well,
his
hang on.
revolver.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, we've already established that he saves like drop points. So like, I could totally see him like saving Bill's house as a drop point, even though he'll probably forget everything about it. Like, he can remember codes, but he can't remember where he put shit. God damn it, that still bothers me. Anyway,
I mean, it's worth being bothered about. This guy's been doing.
There's been some really great cinematography. Ugh.
Cinematography.
There's been some really cool camera shots done. I forgot to mention it in episode 2 because fucking episode 2 happened. But there's that shot where they're in the hotel and they like, it's like, oh, I can't swim, and he's like, yeah, but like, and he takes like a little skip, and like, it's not that deep. That's a really funny scene. It's really well done. And there's also there's a shot that shows like a little like frog on a piano, and like the music that it plays is kind of like horror-y kind of thing. It's a really cool like shot, and it's really well done. And this episode has it too, where Ellie is like kind of freaking out that she's in a car, and she goes to touch the mirror, and this might be a personal thing, but she goes to touch the mirror, and we see Joel's reflection like perfectly, looking like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
There's
it's like I said, it's a lot of little small things that like show that like this show is in somewhat competent hands, but like
there are definitely moments where it's like, oh yeah, this is Joel and Ellie, but then it gets transposed by other fucking things.
Yeah, it's weird. There are highs, but I feel like I don't know. This episode wasn't super terrible, but like when it was described as filler by, was it you, Ninja, or was it Slur who said it?
Well, I said that a lot of
People have been saying it's filler.
people
Yeah,
have
sorry.
been saying that it's filler. Like,
Yeah, and like I said that it's like, oh, but if we get the car, it's not technically filler, but it really did feel like filler. Like, it feels like they cut out like a whole section from the game just to make a gay romance story. And I guess if that's what they're gonna do to compensate for the fact that there's not really much like action, because it's like, because
hold on. We are getting to the point, like, this next episode, they will need to start dealing with raiders, because if I remember correctly,
the next section is, oh, help me. What if he's really hurt? He's not hurt.
And then he rans him over. Yeah,
that is literally what's going to happen next episode.
Yeah, that has to be. Like, we need to.
Also, part of the Bill stuff in the game was you getting a vehicle, and don't have a vehicle.
What?
I don't recall them getting a vehicle. Did they get?
No, yeah, you gave him a truck.
You got a truck. You got a shitty fucking Chevy. So I guess
that's when Ellie then finds the porn in the back seat.
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious if you go back to the first episode, was Joel driving a Ford? if that's true, that's like another little subtle thing. It's like, oh, you guys.
Joel's a Ford man. Bill's a Chevy.
I talk about tribalism and how much I fucking hate it because it's really fucking stupid. But like, that's one of the dumbest ones. It's like, I have a Ford, I have a Chevy. Fuck you.
It's because as far as I know, there's almost literally no difference.
Like, I'm not a car person.
There isn't.
Like, Ninja would be more suited to that, but like, aren't they both pretty much the same? Like, American made, so the parts are really easy to deal with.
Yeah, they each have like their own separate issues.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like Ford's, anything that has a Triton motor is shit.
Okay.
I don't know what a Triton motor is.
It's a certain type of motor that Ford puts out.
Yeah, it's
okay.
It's what Poseidon uses.
Does that have to do with anything with the engine, or is that just
it's literally the engine?
You said the engine.
The whole fucking thing, bro.
I'm blind. You're deaf.
Well, yes, that's actually confirmed.
I'm blind.
What?
I love that fucking. I just love that delivery. It's like my favorite thing.
I'm just very.
I baked a whole cake, but I didn't put anything in. It's like, that isn't really. How did you do that? I'm blind.
I'm trying to quickly see, like, I wonder if there is a Ford.
Like I said, just I'm curious, like, if that's the thing. Because if that is the thing, once again, that's a nice little subtle thing. It's like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny. I don't know. I didn't recognize the singer, but I'm not white, so I guess that is what it is. I don't know who that is.
Oh,
Do you know who that was?
The lady?
Yeah, the singer. I don't know who that was.
No, unfortunately.
Artist.
So, at the very least, from the back view, Tommy drives a truck. That's it. There's no logo or anything on it.
No, there's a shot towards the beginning where like they're about to get in the car after the I'm on the Atkins diet.
Yeah, I'm literally on that shot right now. There's no car logos.
Damn it. Okay.
I
was trying to find a point of praise, but
they did the TV show thing where they wiped the logos. My uncle had
that exact same truck, and yeah, it is a piece of shit. So it's kind of, here's another thing. It's really strange that car is pristine as well. Like, the whole fucking town is pristine, but that truck is like in perfect condition.
What's funny is, like, I thought in the beginning we were going in an entirely different direction as Bill's hitching up the boat. It's like, is he really just about to go fishing? Yeah. Everybody's gone. Is like, fucking finally go fishing.
For a second, I thought he was stealing somebody else's boat.
This is mine now.
All right, Jimmy, you fucking idiot. Now it's my boat. And I'm like, that's fair, you know? This is your town,
what's Jimmy gonna do about it?
What is Jimmy gonna do? He's in a fucking pit down the street.
He's gonna do shit.
He's next to the baby.
Oh my god, that's pretty dark, Ron. Ah, fuck him.
Oh, fuck him.
Yeah, I don't know. They also took out the funny, like, porn scene. You know, it's like, a lot of those, they seem like small moments, but it's like, those are character building for Joel and Ellie.
It's also moments of just levity in a very dark setting.
Hell, even like interactions with fucking Ellie and Bill, like,
yeah, all those are gone because he's dead apparently.
Yeah, and it's like, don't fucking touch that. I wasn't gonna touch your stuff, but it's like, that's where she picked the gun, wasn't it? She gets the gun from that spot in the game because she has the gun later, right?
I don't remember that.
But there's a point where like she's like, no, touch my stuff, and like it's like she's like, I wasn't touching it, I was just fixing your stupid pile. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like that little shit. It's like, you think that Ellie's like a shitty little kid, but I'm pretty sure that's where she gets her gun from.
I'm pretty sure like, so I know the moments that are related to it. They fall. Joel's getting drowned. I think Ellie picks up Joel's gun, and then later when they're having their like, I'm sorry, I yelled at you. They just picked up a random gun off the ground. I could literally just pull up the game. Hold on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good.
You could if you were doing your job.
Yeah.
I mean, I am.
But
I'm getting yelled at, and I'm not quite sure why.
it's all your fault. You what? It's like,
You started the outbreak. I did.
You put the cordyceps in the flour and who? Me couldn't be. Then who?
Communism was a red herring.
Oh no.
Anyway.
It started with the Chinese pie balloon.
Oh no. Alright, so like I said, it's weird because I want to rate this show, like this episode, somewhat not like, I would say it's like slightly above average, but I also kind of hate it. So I don't
feel
know.
like
I feel like I love it and I feel like I hate it. So I'm like in this weird spot where I'm just gonna give this a 5.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of fair because, like you said, there were a lot of things that were done well. Like, there weren't a lot of like objective flaws, but to me, it is asking for a lot of emotional investment in these characters that it absolutely does not earn. And I know that at the end of the day, that's kind of a subjective thing, but I know the story of Bill and Frank. And it's like, man, you could have done so much more with this. Like if this part of The Last of Us was really, really important to you, and maybe I'm Neil Druckmann, and for whatever reason in the first game, he wanted to spend more time on that particular relationship, but he didn't get to because,
because we had a fucking other story. We were trying to tell a different story.
We have other story going on, so it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, and
well,
we've stated that Last of Us is pretty much like exclusively from the perspective of Joel. So like seeing Marlene, seeing Bill, and all these things, like yeah, I get like you're trying to flesh out other perspectives, especially since it's a TV show, not a game now.
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, it's like I really.
But you're telling me you didn't want to see like an extra in zombie makeup try to French Nick Offerman?
I mean,
no. We already did that with Tess. It was great. That one reactor was smiling so hard.
I don't think.
The only benefit of this episode is we're further away from episode 2.
Yeah.
I feel like 5 seconds into episode 2 and not episode 3, and you're just like, oh, thank God, it's over. We're
when you thought you hit a toddler, when you thought you hit a puppy, but it was only a toddler. Oh, thank God. So yeah, you guys in agreements about 5 territory? Like, it's not awful, but it's not amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's better than most TV, so I would even give it I would even go as high as a 6.
That's fair.
But I feel like they could have done a lot more with
objectively speaking, that's romantic.
Yeah, I guess.
I gotta give them props. They kind of use objective right. It's like, all right. I should be furious. God, he was like super gay.
That's my thing. It's like it feels like it's leaning into the stereotype. It's like, dude is super gay. It's like I don't. Why?
And the second he thinks that fucking Bill is gay, he fucking makes a move. It's so fucking weird.
He's like, no girl.
There was no girl.
Fuck.
Time to fuck. It's like okay.
Immediately kisses him.
Yeah, and I guess and as I say, I guess in like a fucking, if that was hetero, that would, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I don't like it.
We literally make fun of the trope of like, we've spent a day together, now we're gonna fuck. We make fun of that trope constantly. So yeah, like it's just as shit here as it normally is in other stuff.
Knock knock.
Come in.
God damn it! I fucking hate you. It's supposed to be lettuce. Lettuce who? Let us fuck.
Let us fuck.
Alright, we're going away now. It's fucking...
Yeah. Love you guys. Y'all be safe. We'll be back another week with another Last of Us thing.
Jog on.